What's up, y'all? It's T-Turn. Today we're gonna be looking at more of y'all's theories today, and I thought we'd start with the one that's kind of crazy, but it's just slightly possible, so it gets your mind thinking. Not that this is actually gonna happen, but it makes you think. I think the best part of this hype season is making y'all think. I think that's why everyone's having so much fun right now. This one is Kieran won't die, but something similar will happen to him. So after we beat Kieran and he gets separated from Tropigus, this is what he's saying will happen. He will be thrown through time and lose his memories like Indigo did. And then he will appear in a Legends game, or even a future main gen game like the Battle Frontier girl who worked with Looker in Sun and Moon. Game Freak seems to like doing that to characters. So this is the third time they've done this. First with Looker, then with Annabelle, and then with Indigo. So there's definitely a pattern here. Game Freak does like to do this. They kind of explain the Annabelle one. There's this international police that are shady and using humans as bait. Yo, Game Freak, not gonna expand on that. For Indigo's story, they didn't expand, but he just got sucked into the past somehow. So since Game Freak's done this multiple times, they're saying that Kieran will disappear at the end of the Indigo disc, but then lo and behold, 2 years later, we're playing the next Legends game, and Kieran is just there. That's kind of eerie and cool, especially if it's the tied hair Kieran. But see, the reason this theory took my attention is because I had to dig out an old Riddler Cool tweet, which is kind of interesting. He says, he put a picture of Blueberry Academy's cast, right? And he wrote, one of them grasps the key of the lore, not Lacey. So this one is probably Kieran, right? Knowing so much more information, we can look back at this. But then he says, and it's a big spoiler for the next game after Sudachi. Yeah, that's why this theory struck me. It's so weird, but it's cool, kind of makes it make sense. So imagine Kieran, he's the key of the lore, and it's a big spoiler for the next game. How? Because the next game is Legends Unova and Kieran is in it? See, he's not just saying someone here is related to the next games. No, look carefully. He's saying one of them grasps the key of the lore, and that's a big spoiler for the next game after Sudachi. So it's not just one of these characters, oh, they're related to like Drayden the gym leader. Nah, it legit sounds like this idea of Kieran being in the next Legends game, it would work out. As weird as that sounds. This Koo tweet was from half a year ago. I had to dig it up, because it's one of Koo's little tricks where he makes us forget about these teasers. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let's go to another idea. Ooh, Peachy. Oh shoot. Hey T-Tar, I've been on your hype train lately and I've had some thoughts about Peachy and what the actual name for it might be. So the last video I talked about, we kind of speculated Momotaro or Dokutaro's name will be Peachy based off the idiom things will be peachy, you know, things will be all right. But in that video, the full phrase is things will be Peachy King, which is so weird sounding, right? Just make it peachy. Even though it sounds small and goofy, the Keen sounds useless. He says, so think about how the Loyal 3's names are a wordplay not only on Serendipity, Hunky Dory, and Okidoki, but also on monkey, pheasant, and dog. What if Peachy's name is still a play on Peachy King, but so its name is Peachy King? Or something like that, because it's the leader of the Loyal 3. That's not a bad idea at all. Just Peachy works because it already has Peach in it, so the wordplay is self-installed. But to make use of Peachy King like that, Peachy does work as a name, but it ends too fast. It's like the name didn't even start yet and it's over. All these syllables make it sound complete. Okidoki, Pheasantipity, Monkey Dory, Peachy King. I'm not sure, y'all. Alright, y'all vote in the comments. Peachy or Peachy King? Which one sounds like it would be it? Next theory. Kierans Mole, y'all. What's up, T-Tar? I noticed in your recent video when comparing old Kieran and new Kieran that the old Kieran has a very apparent mole on his neck, but the Blueberry Academy Kieran seems to be missing the mole. The main reason people think this is maybe a suggestion that it's not actually Kieran, that's why he's missing the mole. But unfortunately, if you look at the key art where he's summoning Tropigus, you can see the mole again. So that means it's just a bad angle here. The real meaning of Kieran's name, ties into him being evil. Hey teacher, so you know the whole theory of Kieran being possessed in some way? Well, the meaning of the name Kieran holds some meaning to that. The name Kieran is actually Irish in origins, and it means little dark one or black haired. It does, so it almost gives the impression Kieran was always born to go down this path. His sister's name Carmine is just a shade of red, so it's interesting they didn't give Kieran just a name like purple, but instead gave him a name that basically means he's dark in nature, aka evil. So the name does one of two things. Either he was born to be evil, like maybe the Dokutaro human situation is recurring because it's on the signboard that there's a human. So maybe every set amount of years, a new like perfect human is born for Dokutaro. So he's always chilling in Kitakami waiting for it. So when Kieran's born, they give him that name unknowing that this is the next Dokutaro baby. Or it just means little dark one to just tease that he's gonna go to the dark side. Yo, it's still a mystery, man. There is a human shown on the signboard. It makes no sense. Next theory, Sada and Turo crystal pool theory. Hey T-Tar, do you remember the crystal pool in Kitakami and how it was specifically mentioned that you can see dead relatives there? And then the leak of zombie trainers? So I think the exact wording is you can see people who have passed away. Do you think it's at all possible that we may fight a zombie version of Sada or Turo? Or maybe even a zombie version of AI Sada and Turo? Yeah, it absolutely is possible. See, the moment they wrote that in the first DLC, it's a setup to use in the second DLC. There's a good shot we might be meeting someone who's supposed to be dead somewhere in the Indigo this DLC, whether that's Heath or Sada and Turo. Let's forget about Heath for now because that's a different rabbit hole. But Sada and Turo, right? It wouldn't be the AIs. If we're understanding Tropigus' power correctly and it is a dream Pokemon, then you're not, it doesn't sound like you're meeting the actual person. You're meeting like your memory of them. So if Arvin went down to the core of Area 0 and we're dealing with Tropigus crap and he really needed help, maybe he could see like a vision of his mom or dad that will help him in some way against Tropigus. How his vision of Sada and Turo would have knowledge he doesn't, I don't know. It's dream power. Maybe Tropigus summons the real one. Who knows? But that setup in the first DLC does not lie. So one, the crystal pool in Kitakami, rumor is you can see dead people from that energy. But two, this has happened again. Back in the main story, when Heath is writing his book, he says when he went deep into Area 0 and was in a trance that it felt like he was speaking to someone. It sounds like he was talking to someone who wasn't alive as well. Tropigus ain't talking to him. Especially if Heath got all these equations written down, it sounds like if he met anyone, it was someone from the ancient people that went to Area 0 and developed all this technology to the point where they left these tablets with technology we don't understand today. So it sounds like when Heath went close enough to Tropigus that he saw like a spirit that was essentially warning him of Tropigus, it sounds like. That's how I see the situation. And so Heath, I suppose, doesn't really take the warning. He just publishes his book and then we get to the modern day where the warning comes true and Tropigus is about to awaken again. So I think in the same vein as Heath saw someone, that when we go to Area 0, we might see Sada and Turo, which has been beautifully set up for us. They're dead. They knew all the answers. They already beat the game. Sounds like they already met Tropigus in some form and were making all these inventions off it. Either Sada and Turo or Heath in some way. It sounds like we would meet down there. Alright, let me know your thoughts. Make sure y'all shank that like button and I will upload again later today with a bunch more fun ideas to talk about. So I'll see y'all there. Take care.